Sometimes the clouds grow dark and cover the sky as far as we can see. Rain begins to pour, and a sense of gloom washes over the atmosphere. The sun is blocked from view, and we may forget it is still shining despite the storm in our wake. The changing of the weather parallels the changing moments of our lives. Life can throw events and challenges our way that we didn't foresee at any moment. We may be left feeling as if we are without a life preserver in an unexpected riptide on what was a sunny day at the beach. Traumatic experiences leaving us feeling as if we were destined to be broken, demanding to know, why is this my life? Financial hardships leading us to believe that we may never be stable again or have financial freedom to follow our dreams, crushing our imaginations. A difficult diagnosis or disability making us bitter towards how unfair life seems to be when everyone else around us seems to be healthy and happy. Losing someone to the inevitability of death changes everything we once knew. We may wonder if we will ever find happiness through our grief in a world without them. Breaking up with someone we saw ourselves experiencing all of life with, creating thoughts that we may never be able to love or be loved again. Maybe even blaming ourselves for the way everything happened, even if it was beyond our control and meant to be the way it was. Like the rain, heavy emotions may move in for an undetermined amount of time, challenging our ability to find the rays of sunshine that still exist in other areas of our lives. Sometimes we forget that the opportunity we have to live is the sun we have been searching for the whole time. It can be so easy to get swept away in the flood currents of our emotions created by the storm's chaos, a looming sadness that our plans are canceled or have to change, anger seeping in as we attempt to manipulate that which is beyond our control with our pleading and bargaining, struggling to accept it is out of our hands. Mother Nature does not bend to our will. When you really slow down and pause to reflect, neither do our life events. It does not matter how hard we try to swim against the current, as the undertow will always pull us the direction needed. Resisting the flow and refusing to surrender our expectations unconsciously creates hurricanes out of showers. We forget that the rain exists to cleanse away the old and provide nourishment for the new seeds that have been planted. These seeds, just waiting for the healing waters to give them the strength to burst through into the warmth of sunshine. Just as the dark, cold earth holds the seed until it sprouts, the periods of darkness we face are incubators for the person we have always been destined to become. Our struggles pushing the boundaries of our comfort zones, inviting us to evolve into something better. The emotional experience of suffering is meant to soften our hearts, just as the earth softens to mud with water falling upon it. As the mud forms, the worms push their way to the surface for a new beginning, refusing to drown while the water is still high. Our pain is heavy to give us strength and resilience to rise above the pressure. What we keep hidden under the surface, dying to be seen to save our lives, just like the worms revealing themselves to the world determined to live. We have the choice to succumb to the pain or take the opportunity to breathe new life into our existence. Either way, the version of us we once were perished with the coming of the storm. Do we want to be reborn light from the darkness and experience the rainbow of hope that appears when clouds begin to disperse? Or do we want to stay within the darkness, never knowing what waits for us on the other side when we push through the barrier into the unknown? I ask myself these questions as I reflect upon how I have spent so much of my life hiding in the familiarity of storm chasing, giving away my personal umbrella of love and care to everyone but myself, desperately clinging to relationships and situations that leave me begging for love, care, and support, fearing being alone, believing it means I am unlovable, losing myself to the torrential downpour of my emotions when I am left feeling unworthy when the validation I seek isn't granted, always searching for ways to escape my circumstances or feelings, whether it was drugs, alcohol, TV, video games, scrolling on my phone, or never wanting to spend time by myself. Stressing myself out, attempting to control circumstances that are beyond my control, and failing to realize truly I am the only thing in life I am in control of. defining my life by pain, and creating resentment for my experiences instead of using them as a catalyst to transform. Why am I so resistant to loving myself and spending time on myself without outside distractions or validation? Why have I settled for a life I do not want instead of stepping into my creative power? I became the tempest in my own life, searching for everything I need outside when all I have ever needed exists within. The wall of water left me unable to see the truth for some time, but now the lightning has illuminated the darkness I cannot deny. Where I direct my energy is what I create. I have spent so much time focused on the negatives of my life, creating unnecessary suffering. My inner spark calls like thunder to be harnessed for myself instead of against myself. I now choose to create and chase dreams over storms. I woke up the morning after I began writing this, wishing I could stay home from work and keep working on it. It was a rainy day, just as the days before it, that inspired me to start creating this to begin with. My car had begun making awful noises on the way to work. The mechanic next door looked it over during my shift and informed me the turbocharger within my engine is failing and needs to be replaced. I don't have the money to fix it, nor is it worth fixing when my car isn't even worth half of that one needed repair. I realized I will have to quit my job and will once again be unemployed without transportation. I don't know when or how my circumstances will change or improve, but I have to believe that they will. Life is pushing the limits of my comfort zone and throwing me into deeper uncertainty about my future. Rather than spiraling into old thought patterns of the past, getting angry and sad at my life and the universe for the hand I was dealt, I took a deep breath. I told myself, this is a blessing in disguise. Now I have the time I wanted to work on my creative projects. I made the conscious decision to surrender to what life was offering me as an opportunity to grow. It was then I looked out the window to notice the rain outside had stopped. There was a rainbow shooting across the sky, still surrounded by dark rain clouds. Rainbows are symbols of hope, joy, and new beginnings. A reminder of the beauty that can come out of experiences we harshly judge as bad when we learn how to trust the process and unfolding of our lives in divine timing. The only way out is through. Even in times of hardship, pause, and uncertainty, hope and joy can still be found. My entire life has had a lot of rain within it. I have experienced losing loved ones to disease, suicide, and even murder. I have found myself living with physical disabilities. I have been violated physically and mentally by others, but that is not my entire life. That is not my whole being. I have had many wonderful moments too that I have taken for granted by focusing too heavily on the dark aspects of my existence. When the rain I am currently riding out comes to an end, just as everything in life comes to pass with time, I will splash through the puddles barefoot with my inner child as the rainbows appear. The softened earth with a softened heart, creating thicker skin for my protection and more compassion for myself and others and my experiences. I realize how everything I have endured was character development for the story of my life and aligned for my highest good, even if I couldn't see it in the moment. I get to write the rest of my story with the wisdom I have found through my suffering. I will not hide away behind blaming circumstances, myself, or others for not being where I want to be in my life as I did before. I also know that I am right where I am meant to be in this point in time in order to grow. I am embracing whatever comes my way with the curiosity and imagination of a child because I know that is how the magic takes place. Remembering to play, create, and have fun, no matter what I may be going through, is vital. No more shame or guilt for my past and what has guided me to become the person who I am today. No more comparing the person I am today to anyone else. My path is unique to me, and the person I am today is enough to work towards creating who I want to be tomorrow. More often than not, I feel invisible, But if you're still here, I want you to witness the metamorphosis that is taking place within me that I know will change my trajectory. Watch me alchemize my life from something tragic into something magic. I have been planting seeds of growth in the darkness for years, and I just didn't realize how it was all made for me, with love, by the universe. It's finally time for the flowers to bloom, for me to bloom. This new era I'm stepping into has a theme song too. I'm sure you've heard Believer by Imagine Dragons. For me, the entire song is very symbolic and prophetic of spiritual awakening and evolution, but let's focus on the chorus for a moment. The chorus says, "Pain, you made me a believer, a believer." For the first time in my life, I believe in myself, even as my life is falling apart. I haven't a clue as to how it will all work out, but I am trusting the process. I believe in my power to create the life of my dreams, and I believe it starts here and now with my artistic expression and vulnerability. It's never too late to transform your life. And if I can do it, I know anyone can do it. What are you waiting for? The only permission you need is your own.